Logan, thank you so much for being here today and talking all things brand, storytelling, and out of home with us.
Yeah.
You're about to get on stage and talk about bringing brands to Canadians through connected journeys and advertising. Tell us, what role do you see out of home playing in that larger omni-channel strategy?
Yeah, I mean, we see it playing a big role, as we sort of express our overall brand narrative. So, we spend a lot of time trying to figure out what's the overarching story we're trying to tell our fans about our brands. And it shows up in what our advertising is, what our products are, what our innovation is, but also where we show up. And so we view out of home as a really important part for the right brand, for the right narrative to tell a piece of the overarching story.
For sure, it's such a great medium to reach a big audience in a really effective way. What do you think are the key elements of building a good brand story, and how do you make sure that they stay consistent across different channels and different brands? Because PepsiCo obviously manages tons of different brands.
Yeah, I mean, for us, it really starts with the consumer and really understanding their relationship with the brand, and what kind of story we want to bring them along for. And to your point on consistency, it's incredibly important to make sure that's consistent regardless of the touch point. You can't be saying one thing on TV, another thing on digital, and something completely different out of home. So to the degree that we can sort of have all those thread together and tell an overarching narrative, that's really where we see the amplification. And for us, that consistency just helps to build, those distinctive memory structures in people's minds that help elevate sort of the power of a brand.
For sure, and I guess it's about building that connected journey and using one channel to maybe drive people across to different channels as well.
Yeah, one of the things we've been doing, and I wouldn't call it experimenting at this point, is using out of home to really amplify nationally in a certain way. So, a classic example might be a big activation at Yonge and Dundas Square, which is great for those people that are there at that moment. That's obviously a really small part of the overall population. But, working with other digital partners to amplify a massive activation, you can really spread sort of some of the really cool events that are happening and some of the really interesting activations and reach people across the country that just happens to have a massive visual stimulus in one city. It doesn't really matter where that execution happens because you can spread it with other channels as well.
For sure, and it's so encouraging seeing such big brands recognize the impact and the importance of out of home. I love to see that, and like you said, there's so much we can do and it's come such a long way. But I feel like we're still kind of at the cusp and there's so much more that out of home can be doing. What do you hope people take away from this event? I know you were just saying it's your first time attending the DPAA Canada Summit, so what do you hope people walk away with?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm hearing a lot of really encouraging innovation coming, especially, as we shift from, right now still the majority of boards are still static and they're moving to digitization. And I think that just provides a lot of opportunities for innovation, a lot more programmatic and contextual opportunities. And we talked a lot about custom creative and the opportunity to kind of do that. So there's definitely a role for both static and digital, but I think the shift is clearly on. And everything I'm hearing is hey, that shift will just continue to accelerate. I think, as a brand advertiser, it just unlocks a lot more opportunities. Static can certainly play a role, but I think digital just unleashes some more opportunities.
Yeah, we've been hearing a lot about the role of digitization and automation. So I'd be curious to come back here even in a year and see how things have changed. It's always evolving.
Yeah, it's and just you see all the partners that are kind of getting involved, the kind of real estate that they're unlocking with new opportunities and innovation opportunities, and that's something that's advertisers are eager to lean into.